Welcome back, Pineys, to episode 5 of our storefront renovation, and we are about to dive deep into our nasty, nasty bathroom in the storefront. I was able to find a lot on Facebook Marketplace, including this little vanity that fit perfect in this small bathroom. Just needed a fresh coat of paint, but we definitely went to Home Depot to buy ourselves a brand new toilet.
So, Carlina decided that she wanted an accent wall in this nice, bright, white room. And guess what color it's gonna be? This color.
Yay!
So we're gonna put a piece of shiplap in there and paint it black. And I just took all the dimensions. So now I can cut it down to size, cut the window in, and there's a little hole for the spigot that we put in so Carlina can water her plants.
Yay, thank
So
you.
we have to cut that in as well. So let's get to it.
How's life without a table saw in here?
It's horrible. I can't wait to have a wood shop so we can do all this stuff. But until then, we get to just work on a pile of
Sheetrock?
So I already cut down the edges, so it's to size. It was 43 inches at the top, 43 and a quarter at the bottom, so I have it on a little diagonal. And now I'm about to draw out the window and the spigot. I'll cut that in, we'll get it cleaned off, and we'll paint it black.
Life was a little difficult not having our whole wood shop here, but we made it work. We used some trim as a straight edge and then our stacked up drywall as a table. For the most part, everything cut pretty straight, and even if it wasn't going to be perfect, I was going to go back and trim over everything so nobody would really notice. Now that the window was cut out and the little hole at the bottom for our spigot, it was my turn to get to painting. We needed to do a few coats on this, and once it was dry the following day, it was time to install. This is a tiny bathroom, so it did take us a few tries to get it in there without scratching up the paint or denting into the walls, but once it was in there, I held it up and Patrick put some brad nails all around. I wasn't too worried about these holes because, like I said, I was going to go around and trim this space up. We have some fun stuff we're going to do down here that I planned out.
Yeah, and that'll also match what's gonna be out here, which will go all the way up the wall and kind of make this seamless. We're shooting for making it look like there's no door on this wall. So if we can figure that out, so far all we've done was built a loft up there and went all the way up with it, which hid the HVAC in there. And then we also flipped this door around. So if you notice right now, the door itself can be locked from the outside, which is a no-no. But it made it so it was flush, which is what will help in the long run when we try and hide this entire thing in the wall. So we'll actually remove the door handles and have like a contraption so you can open it from a hidden door handle and lock it from the inside. We're super excited. We have some more painting to do. We got to trim it and put the mirror up. And then
I'm excited about the mirror.
It'll just about be ready, and install the poop wipe holder.
This bathroom's come a long way.
Yeah.
Something Patrick and I both didn't love was that we had a random door in the middle of the storefront that led to our bathroom. So we both came up with the idea to find a way to hide the door with some art. And that was all created by using some plywood strips. Our good friends Sean and Shelby stopped by just to say hi and ended up helping us a ton. We started off by ripping the strips down to 1.5 inches, and then once they were all ripped, we cut them to various lengths and started attaching them to this wall with some liquid nails and brad nails. Once we came up with a pattern, the process went by super quick, and once it was done, it was time to repeat the process in the bathroom to hide that space below the shiplap. Our grand opening date was getting closer and closer, and we still had so much to do, including cleaning up all of the window sills in the storefront. A few years ago, we picked up this spalted walnut slab, and we thought it'd be a nice touch to add some live edge window sills in the storefront. We started off by cutting them to the exact depth that we needed all of them, and then we took them over to the miter saw to cut them to the width. Thankfully, we were able to get all of them out of the same exact slab, so they'll all match really nicely, including this little one that we are going to be using for the bathroom windowsill.
Some good looking shelves.
Window sills, baby!
Smack that again.
Once they were all cut to size, we then took the jigsaw to the back of them so that we can cut out these little sections, and then they can slide right in the windowsill and wrap around it. And after, we had to take it to the table saw to start chunking out underneath of these sections. This was so we were able to then cap the pre-existing windowsills that already existed. Because the table saw blade could only go so high, Patrick was only able to chunk out a certain section of it underneath. So he ripped the rest down on the table saw and then took a hammer and chisel to it to break the rest of the section out. Once this was all done, we sanded and finished each windowsill, and then they were ready for install. Each one capped the old windowsill so perfectly, and it added such a nice touch in our new storefront.
So it has been a long time coming, and it is time for us to get the CO for the store. But in order to get the CO for this storefront right here, we have to finish this. So it's time to put the slab in. The slab is beyond this right now. We just got it over here. I don't know if you can see it. It is 93 inches of black walnut, and it is finished with Total Boat Halcyon, and it looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to get it in here, get it all framed up, and it's gonna be like Santa's workshop. You can just sit here, watch us work, watch us sweat, while you sip on some water and air conditioning, you know? And it's so,
Are you done? Do you want me to cut
I'm
it?
done, you can cut. All right, so we have a problem, and I'll show you what the problem is right now. So this, I measured, and I cut it a 1/4 inch short on purpose, so that way when you center it in between the opening, you have an 1/8 inch on either side. So the opening is 93 inches, that is 92 3/4. But I assumed that this was straight. It is not. If you look down it, it's 93 here, and then it curls, the board warped, and it came out a little bit right here, which sets it at 92 1/4, which makes us a 1/2 inch off. That's already finished. I do not want to cut into that. So what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna come back here, we're gonna take a router, take a couple passes right here, and then maybe take the multi-tool or a chisel and chisel it out. So we'll have approximately a 2-inch divot, like a rabbet, that it'll slide into. This is gonna be sketchy.
And sketchy it was. I definitely stood back with my safety glasses on as well, but Patrick was able to power through it. We ended up doing a couple passes to get the correct depth that we needed, and once we were finished with the router, we took a multi-tool and chisel to chunk out the rest of it.
All right, so take 2. We chiseled this out. It looks perfect. It looks gorgeous. It looks smooth. Come check it out. It's beautiful. Look how perfect that is. Wow. Perfectly tapered. You're gonna love it. So now that it's chiseled out, we're praying that we can get it in.
Once everything was all cleaned up, we slid the slab through the storefront and tested out to see if everything worked. We needed a little bit of muscle to push it through, but after a couple little shoves, it slid right in, and perfect timing because Patrick's grandparents showed up for lunch and we had lunch on the new bar. After lunch, we were quick to get back to work because we were really excited to now install the acrylic for the viewing window. We used 1/4 inch acrylic for our window. We wanted to try to reduce any noise as much as possible, so we added a second sheet with a little spacer in between to help cancel some of the noise from the wood shop into the storefront. And man, did it work. Patrick is testing out pulling the miter saw, and I couldn't hear a single thing. It was crazy.
I can't even hear you now. Yeah, you can't hear.
It was crunch time now. We only had about 2 weeks left till our grand opening. So Patrick got right to building these custom shelves that we designed to display some product. Stay tuned for our next episode where we show you the final touches to our storefront and where we open the doors for the public to see.